Hey, I'm Triggertrona, and today I decided that we'd make two videos. Last week, I took the latter half of the week and just spent it with my wife since it was my anniversary. So figured I'd do 2 weeks. I did one video already about the comparison size of needles, and figured I'd key in on a conversation I was having with a guy yesterday. Just drove me crazy. And super nice guy. Known him for quite a few years. We're having a conversation about retirement stuff, and he kept saying, when I retire, I'm going to. When I retire, I'm going to go do this. When I retire, I'm going to go do that. And just drives me crazy, and I'm going to tell you why. The entire time that I was in high school, I listened to my parents talk about when they retired, they were going to go to the Grand Canyon and go see Mount Rushmore. And I mean, this is pre-internet, so it was to the point where, there were travel guides sitting around the house talk about all the different things you could see at the Grand Canyon and Mount Rushmore. And we would sit at the dining room table and eat supper, and they would talk about, when we retire, we're going to go see this, and maybe we'll ride mules down the canyon face and all this other stuff. And my father retired on November 11th and died December 5th. Man never even got his first Social Security check. And all he talked about for the last 5 years of his life was when he retired, they were going to go to the Grand Canyon. And they were a couple of months away from that trip, never made it, right? So for me, I learned a valuable lesson out of that. And it's, you may not have the opportunity right now at this very moment to go do something you want to do, but you don't know what the world's going to hold in store for you, and you had best not put it off too long if it's something that you actually want to do. My mother lived for several years after my father had passed away, and in speaking with her, probably her biggest regret was the fact that they had the time, they had the opportunity, they had the finances, they could have gone and done that trip. They just kept thinking it would be a neat thing to wait until retirement to do, and they never got to do it together. And that was one of her biggest regrets, was that they never got to go do that together. So I'm a person, I believe that every once in a while, you just got to take time and go do something that you truly want to do that's away from all the other stuff. Now, believe me, like I've told you before, I'm in the middle of remodeling a house. I have a full-time job. I do plenty of different things, but every once in a while, I'm going to take some time and I'm going to go do something that doesn't involve working on the house, doesn't involve, work life, doesn't involve any of that stuff, because you just got to get away. Whether it be take a day and go fishing, whether it be, some of the best times that I've been able to organize my thoughts, sort out the stress of the world, have been late fall, sitting in a tree stand, smelling curing tobacco in the barns, just sitting there letting that cool breeze hit you, and not even having to have a deer come out, not even having to do any of that stuff, just the peace of mind. Leave your phone in the truck, not just that peace of mind of being out with just your thoughts, to be able to square yourself away and think about life and reflect on everything and kind of reorganize yourself. And so I'm a huge fan of that. Huge fan that you have to take time for yourself to just kind of put yourself in the right frame of mind. All right. Again, guys, I constantly promote doing things to make sure that you're in the best health that you can possibly be at the end of your life, so that you can go do the things that you want to do. And a big part of that is from watching my own dad talk about all the things he wanted to do when he retired, and then the man not even live for a month. And you learn lessons from stuff like that. And so just, if you want to go on a trip, don't sit around waiting forever to do it, because you may not get the opportunity to do it. Life does not give you any guarantees, and it's not gonna work out the way that you hope it's gonna work out in all circumstances. I'm not saying it's not possible it wouldn't work out, and I'm not saying that everybody's gonna die within a month of their retirement, but I'm just saying that biggest regret my mother ever had was that they planned this trip for years. I mean, they had to make hotel reservations years in advance to make sure that they could secure the reservations, and never even got to make the trip. And so I learned that lesson. If I get to the point where I'm like, hey, my wife and I, we want to go do something, we may not be able to do it that minute, but we're not putting it off to retirement. All right. And what I promote for people is to be healthy, but also, live out those things that you want to do when the opportunity presents itself to go do it. And you got to take time for yourself out of this busy world and recenter yourself, de-stress yourself, and take time to enjoy the things, reap the benefits of the things that you've worked so hard for. Again, guys, we're out here trying to keep ourselves in shape, and we're out here trying to make sure that we're the best that we could possibly be. But that also involves mentally being in the place we need to be, and every once in a while stepping back, refocusing, and being ready for that next challenge that comes down the road is going to involve clearing your mind and your thoughts of all those things that came before, and that's going to involve taking a little bit of time for yourself to make sure you're in a place where you need to be mentally, because we talked about stress before. Stress will kill you just as quick as anything else. Taking that time to yourself to get the things done that you need to do in order to be happy, is going to help you refocus and set yourself in the right direction. So that's the thing. I told that guy yesterday, I said, man, don't do it. Just go. Just carve out a block of time, start saving money like, no man's business. If you got to work overtime, but just make it a priority. Don't sit around talking about retirement, because there's no guarantees you'll get it. And if it's as much of a dream as your spouse as it is you, one of you might not make it, and then it's gonna just end up being the end of your life regret. So that would be my lesson for today is, just go do the things that you dream about doing. Do not sit around and wait. There's no guarantee that you're gonna get tomorrow. All right. So Trigger Trauma, hope you guys have a good week.